What's up, my kings, queens, and trolls of YouTube? It's your girl, Queen C, and today I'm going to do an Ask Queen C video. So let's get started. Hey, Queen C, I've been conducting an experiment and slowly breaking out of the shy, timid, unmanly shell I've been in for most of my life. The experiment was asking people for what I want. Someone told me that there is nothing wrong with asking for what you want and putting your desires out there in the world. I'm 5 days into the experiment, and I'm amazed at how many yeses I've gotten compared to no's. I was wondering if you could speak on the idea of asking for what you want and how fear can hold a lot of people back in life. You seem like the kind of person who will not hesitate to voice her concerns no matter what the situation may be. Thanks a lot. Keep up the stellar work. Regards, Dave. Okay, Dave. Well, thank you for writing in. And you are absolutely correct. There is no harm in asking for what you want. Now, the only spin that I will put on that is when you ask for what you want, ask for it with consideration, because there's some people that we may not ask certain things of because they may already have a lot on their plate and stuff like that. But, when you ask or when you want something, the worst thing anybody can do is tell you no. So no, there is no harm in asking anything now, ask for it with consideration and ask for it with tact. Like, don't be just going up to some women and being like, hey, can I get some booty or anything like that. You have to make sure you ask with consideration and ask with some tact. But a closed mouth will not get fed. So if you want something and, you feel the need to ask, go right ahead. There is no harm in asking for what you want. A lot of times people sit back and, they need help and they won't ask for help because they let their pride, take over. And I've seen it happen plenty of times. I've seen people in situations, like, I'll give you an example. My daughter, she goes to school, and I remember when I would be dropping her off, I would be ready to be heading back home, and I would see this little girl, and she would be, leaving school late, walking by herself. And one day, this little girl actually slipped and fell a little ways up the street, and she came running down the street, screaming and crying. She had actually hit her head, and she had blood all over her head. Well, the gym teacher thought that somebody had attacked this little girl, and the crossing guard went to the little girl's aid, and the gym teacher went running up the street real fast to see, like, if somebody had hurt this child. So to make a long story short, actually, the little girl was walking home. She slipped and fell. That's how she got hurt. But she was leaving home by herself. And she was probably only like 6 or 7 years old at the time. So she ended up walking home from school, but when she got hurt, she was screaming, help me, because she knew she couldn't go back home because nobody was home to help her. So, she had to run to somebody from the school, and, she got hurt, and they had to, bandage up her head and stuff like that. And, this little girl, she would be constantly getting, dropped off maybe at the corner late, and then her mom would just leave and leave the little girl to walk to school by herself. Now, as many times as I've seen this woman drop her daughter off, as many times as I've seen her at events for school, our daughters are friends, you would think that instead of putting your child in a dangerous situation, you would see a friendly face and you may ask for help. Instead of subjecting your child to leaving late and walking to school by herself, because it's monsters out there, it's monsters out there. So, some people can be too prideful and don't want to ask for help, but sometimes it leaves, people that they're responsible for in jacked up situations. So Dave, thanks again for writing in. Yes, everybody out there, if you want something, there is no harm in asking for it, okay? If you guys want to ask me any other questions, you can email me at queenchronda@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to me, and also please like my Facebook page, the Queen C-Hive, and like me on Instagram at Queen Chrishonda. And until next time, guys, peace from the C-Hive.